So I had to fire one of my employees. This dude had pushed me to my absolute limit, and I could not take it anymore. It was a combination of things that finally led me to this point. It was the lack of initiative, the lack of effort, just an overall laziness that was getting under my skin. And every single day, it was getting worse and worse. And I tried to work through some of these issues. And I got to admit that I might have even made up some excuses for him that basically allowed me to justify to myself that I shouldn't fire him. But he finally said something that I just couldn't let slide, and I had to let him go. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it was that he said and everything that led up to that point. But I did want to let you know that there are only a few days left in the Quote IQ truck and skid giveaway. So if you want to learn how you can win, just comment "I want to win" in the comment section, and I will reply with the 2 steps that you need to do in order to be entered to win. So why did I end up firing this guy? Well, when I first hired him, things were good. He went through our typical training, which involves going through the how to wash course. So he understands how to apply the different chemicals, what they do, all the different equipment that we use, all the different services that we offer, and the things that he's going to encounter on a residential job site, and basically how to clean them from step 1 all the way to completion. And then from there, he spends 3 weeks with one of our other technicians, basically just shadowing, helping, learning the hands-on aspect of the job. And this is a good thing because all the guys have been through this training. They know how I like things to happen. They know how I like to have things done, but I also give them the ability to make some decisions on their own. Obviously, everything is run by me, at least the first time, just because sometimes people try to reinvent the wheel and it's completely unnecessary. There are new and better ways to do things, and we'll definitely experiment and figure those things out or learn from others. But again, reinventing the wheel isn't necessary when things are working the way they need to work. So with that being said, after the first month, if everything goes well, then they go out on their own. And of course, we've got an employee handbook that covers all kinds of things like employee expectations, workplace policy, safety, compensation, benefits, things like that, right? As well as the code of conduct and basically how you're going to operate when you're working for my company. It's in black and white, and they have to read it. They have to sign it, which acknowledges the fact that it's been read and that they have to abide by it. And like I said, they do the how to wash training. They do the hands-on training. They get a very firm understanding of our standard operating procedures, which are written and are in the employee handbook. So there is nothing that could surprise them. There is nothing that isn't in black and white for them to clearly understand. We do this for multiple reasons. Obviously, it's to protect ourselves, protect our employees, protect our customers. The education process is really important. The communication aspect of the job is also very important. And all of that is on the business side. That's not interacting with the customer at all. So this is just our side, how we deal with employees, how we run the business. And everybody's job description is going to be different, right? From company to company. And with my company, because not only are we a washing business, but I also utilize the guys for filming because we do this, what you guys are watching right now. So all the guys have iPhones provided by the company, and they've all got tripods provided by the company, and they are required to film a portion of the day, right? Most of the jobs that they do, they're required to film. And everybody is compensated for this. It's not something that I'm asking them to do and not paying them for it, right? It's part of their job and they are paid accordingly. Again, everything is very clear from day one. So like I said, that's on the business side, the company side. And then of course we go over to the customer side. Now you guys have heard me talk about the contract that we have in place, which essentially is our agreement between the customer and our company. A lot of things are covered in this, but primarily for the sake of this video and why we had to part ways with this particular guy was one particular point in the contract that we require customers to do prior to our arrival. But I'm going to talk about that after I talk about some of the other things that really pissed me off about this guy that led up to the straw that finally broke this camel's back. So one of the first things, this dude was slow. And not just slow in the process. I don't mind if you're slow in the process. I like a methodical approach to cleaning because that means you're not going to miss anything and you're going to do a good job and the customers are going to be happy, right? I'm talking about this type of slow, like he was just slow in life, right? Maybe a little slow mentally, slow at everything that he did. He moved slow, he talked slow, and that translates to wasting time. And that was if he decided to be on time. And unfortunately, probably once a week, he was late. Now, I've got GPS tracking on all the vehicles. I know when they turn on in the morning. I know when they turn off. I know how fast they're going. I know if they brake too hard, okay? And this is not to micromanage, but this is so I don't have to wonder what's happening and where people are. And quite honestly, I don't even look at this stuff unless I need to look at this stuff. And the only time I need to look at this stuff is if somebody is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Another thing was a bad attitude. And this was really evident evident from day one, and just not really excited to be at work. And I don't expect people to be like jumping up and down and giving me high fives every single day, but the common courtesy of a decent attitude to the guy that's writing you a paycheck, that's kind of to be expected, kind of just a sign of respect. I mean, I give you respect. I would appreciate the same respect in return. But again, I made excuses. I just said, hey, that's his personality or lack thereof, and I would deal with it. But then I slowly started to get feedback from customers about this attitude that I noticed, the lack of respect, the lack of friendliness. And yes, you are there to provide a pressure cleaning service, but customer service, your attitude, meeting and exceeding customer expectations goes beyond just cleaning their stuff. The entire customer experience needs to be pleasant, and that just wasn't happening with this dude. He even told me at one point that he didn't like going up to the door to introduce himself to the customer, just to let him know that we were there and ask him if they wanted to do the 28-point inspection. And he also, about 2 days before I ended up firing him, that he hadn't done a 28-point inspection in probably 2 weeks because he just didn't think it was necessary at those properties. I almost fired him on the spot that day, but we were so busy. We had a ton of jobs lined up that I let that get in the way of my better judgment, and that's on me. So after that, I decided that I probably needed to roll up on him a couple times a week just to see how things were going. So I drive over to one of the houses that he was doing. He was doing a roof. I could hear the 12 volt, humming away. Hoses are stretched out. And I go in the backyard where he was, and he's doing the roof. And I look at the deck, and there are all kinds of flowers and potted plants, rugs, outdoor furniture with cushions, pillows, completely getting drenched by bleach. Absolutely zero attempt to move anything out of the way of the 5% SH that he was applying to a pretty bad, nasty asphalt shingle roof. So obviously I stop him. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And this is when he told me the thing that got him fired. He said, you pay me to wash stuff, not move stuff. He said that. I wasn't sure if I heard it correctly because there was no way in hell anybody would have the balls to say that. Not only that, that's a dumb fucking thing to say. You are paid to move shit if the customer doesn't, and we charge them accordingly. And all that's in the customer contract. It's in the employee handbook. Everybody agrees to that when they accept the quote. The employee accepts that when he takes the job and signs the employee handbook. So I pay my employees by the hour, and they make really good money, right? So if it takes an extra 15 minutes to move some stuff, another 15 to move it back, my guys are getting paid for it. We charge the customer, right? They pay for the extra time because the employee has to move the stuff. It's in our contract. They agree to that when they accept the quote, which we send them, and we get an electronic signature in 𝗤𝘂cie𝗁𝗜. And like I said, I didn't think I heard him right. So I say, excuse me. Well, what are you talking about? And I did hear him right. And he said that he works for a pressure washing company, not a moving company, and that he was not moving anything. If the customer doesn't move it, then it's getting wet, it's getting bleach, and he didn't care. So with that statement, he ended his tenure with my company. I told him to get his shit out of my truck and to call his wife to come pick him up. And I called in another crew to finish that job and take the truck and trailer back to the yard. The bottom line, this was a breach of company policy highlighted in our employee handbook. And look, anytime an employee refuses to follow directions, this is an indication that this person is not going to be a good employee. Not only that, but this type of behavior undermines the integrity and the professionalism that I expect from my employees because they are out there representing me. They are the face of the company. They're the ones in the field that are interacting with the customer. And if you allow this type of cancer to fester, other people, customers, employees, they're going to see this. And this is not how I want my business viewed. I know this is not how you want your business viewed because we've worked on them for so long and so hard to make them into what they are. And one bad apple can ruin the entire bunch. And we do not need to allow that to happen. Look, I've made mistakes in the past where I have let things slide for way too long, and it's always come back to bite me in the ass. I caught this one not as quickly as I should, but I ended it quick enough to where it didn't hurt the business that bad. So that is it for today's video, guys. I just wanted to share that bad employee story and why I had to fire somebody and why you should not put up with bullshit from anybody because it can impact your business, have a negative impact on your business, which impacts your bottom line, and that is not a good thing. Anyway, do not forget to check out 𝗤𝘂cie𝗁𝗜. We are giving away that truck. We are giving away that Southeast Soft Wash skid in a couple days. You got to be a platinum. You got to be a premium subscriber. Don't forget to comment below. I want to win. And all that other stuff I talked about is on the resource page at 𝗂𝑤course.com. You can get the contract. You can get the employee handbook. You can get all kinds of other great marketing and training. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you never have to deal with an asshole like that. And I hope you guys have a great day.